This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, I suppose you can't have fun every single night. Tonight was one of those nights. The Astros not able to have fun. Now, there were fun moments throughout the game, sure, but you can't win them all. They come back home after the great weekend against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They drop game one of this three-game series against the Cleveland Guardians. Like I said, you cannot win them all. It is what it is. There's going to be nights where you go out there and you kick butt of every great team in this league like the Astros have done this season. And then there's going to be nights like this where you play a team that comes in on a 10-game losing streak and you just don't have enough to get over the hump. And that's what happened to the Astros tonight. Hello and welcome to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I am your host, Michael Connor. Thank you for stopping by. Give me a thumbs up in the comments or just a yes. Everything in the comments or everything in the audio world visually sounding okay. I want a new computer tonight, so I just want to make sure everything got set up right. Just let me know if it was good. Okay, there's a thumbs up. Thank you so much. If you are watching us live, thank you. If you're watching us later on, we appreciate it as well. You can always find the show anywhere that you get your podcast. Search Locked On Astros. You get this show and the daily Locked On Astros show for the price of free. Tonight's episode of this Locked On Astros Postcast brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. All right, so what is it that you are walking away from tonight talking about?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Just not enough tonight. It stinks. It happens. You know, offensively, they had some moments in this baseball game, but the number one thing that you're walking away from, the Astros have had such elite pitching of late. And tonight, you know, it was not that. Colton Gordon, 5 runs in 5 2/3. Okert gives up a run in an inning and a third. Hey, Hector Neris, guy who's got an ERA over 7 this year, comes back to the Astros. Scoreless outing in his first attempt back. Caleb Ort, I wonder how long they're going to keep farting around with the Caleb Ort thing. I know he throws hard, but, like, he's not any good. But really the story is Colton Gordon tonight. You know, the Astros, we've talked a lot about pitching. They've pitched so elite. You know, I think if they could get Spencer Arrighetti back at some point, Colton Gordon's probably the guy that goes. He fills up the strike zone, but, you know, he's susceptible to giving up stuff like this. I thought it was an interesting decision on Joe Espada's part to put him back into the game there in the 6th inning. And, you know, I just didn't know if I loved that after him getting hit by that comebacker there. And, you know, just interesting. I think that's the way to put it. Interesting decision on the manager's part tonight. Not why they lost. You know, I get caught up in it, and I know that we all do at times. You know, we look at the bullpen, we look at the usage of it, and you go, oh, why aren't you going to Hader? Why aren't you going to Brady? Why aren't you going to your best guys? You can't use those guys every night. We know that. This team is coming off of a road trip where they just played, 6 days in a row on that road trip? Or no, did they have a Thursday? I don't remember. I've slept since then. Yeah, they played Tuesday through Sunday. You know, they had to use some bullpen at times. They had to use their high leverage guys to get a couple of those wins there in Los Angeles. They had to use them a little bit there in Colorado as well. And they're just coming off of a month where they use those guys a lot in general because they won a lot of baseball games in the month of June. And you got to start monitoring things. Astros, by the way, tonight will, for the first time in a while, give up some ground in the American League West. They fall to 6.5 ahead of the idle Mariners tonight, who will be playing the Yankees the next few games up in the Bronx. So I think they're in the Bronx. It's the only time it's acceptable to say go Yankees. The Yankees are not playing good baseball of late overall, so hopefully they can figure it out and help the Astros out just a little bit, and the Astros can cushion that lead back up to even a higher number. Astros are also going to have to go out there and, do their thing, which means beating a Cleveland Guardians team that before this, I think it was in their last 10 games, they'd scored 15 runs total, and tonight they score 7. It's not a good thing that you go out there and give that up, but that is baseball. And I have to remind myself on nights like this, it's not the end of the world. Does it stink? Of course it stinks. Who wants to lose to that team? But it happens. Give some love to the guys that did come through offensively, like I mentioned. The Astros do score 5 runs in the baseball game tonight. They only had 5 hits, I will say that. It's not like it's been of late. And in all honesty, this is a lineup that Paredes, Smith, Altuve, Diaz, Caratini. Okay. That's fine. Look at the back end of it. Hummel, Trammell, Short, and Corona. Literally all Sugarland Space Cowboys. They're running a virtual Space Cowboys lineup out there. They get 2 hits out of that bunch. Trammell, of course, hitting the big 3-run jack. Good for him. Caratini continues to hit important home runs in important situations, gets it back to a 1-run game. That did not end up mattering, of course, because, they didn't score any more runs, and Ort gives up a run there in his outing. And look, it was a cheapie, but that's the life of pitching at the former juice box. I just can't come around to calling it its name. I know, first of all, I'm not here to give free love, but also, it just doesn't fit. It just feels weird still. And sometimes you're going to give up a cheapie down the line. Happened tonight to Ort, who gives up a lot of those. So, it's what it is. But they found their way to getting some clutch hits when they needed it to get the game back close. Can't even forget to mention Isaac Paredes. His, 19th the season tonight? This guy's going to mess around and probably have a 30 home run season. And I will completely eat the crow on not being the biggest fan of Isaac Paredes coming in to be the replacement of Alex Bregman. By far exceeded expectations. It's always going to be a little bit streaky. He doesn't have the most unbelievable range at third base, but I think some of the defensive metrics don't love him. And I watch him on a nightly basis, and I go, I don't know why. He makes a lot of plays. He's just been a really for when you talk about analytics in this game, what you've gotten out of him compared to what you were getting out of Bregman, it was the right play in terms of analytics. But he's been a nice player for them this year. I've really actually enjoyed watching him play baseball. Just dead pull hitter. Knows his strength, goes right to it. Let's take a look at tomorrow's game. They got the Diesel on the mound. Can they bounce back with that man on the mound? We'll talk about that next year on the Locked On Astros Postcast after an unfortunate loss. Before we talk about tomorrow's baseball game, let me remind you, have you ever wished that managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO giving you full visibility and control of your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Told you guys about it before. Seriously, when it comes to your significant other, it is fantastic to have because you manage all your money in the same app together. You can see all the accounts, all of it. My wife and I absolutely love it. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Astros losers tonight to the Cleveland Guardians. Welcome back to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I am Michael Connor. Thank you for joining us live later on, whatever it might be. And don't forget that if you want the audio version of it, yes, you can also get that. Wherever you get your podcast, go ahead and search for the Locked On Astros podcast. And that is where you will absolutely find it. Don't forget, we'll be with you again tomorrow night when the game wraps up. If you're also looking for more of me tomorrow evening, I will be hosting the Locked On Texans squad show over on the Locked On Texans page at 6 p.m. So double the duty tomorrow night. Before we get to tomorrow night's baseball game, I guess we had to give out a player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I'm going to go ahead and give it to Victor Caratini. I could have given it to Trammell for the 3-run jack. But Caratini comes up clutch when they need him to. I'll give it to both of them. How about that? Trammell and Caratini hit big bombs tonight. And I guess Isaac Paredes too. I should give it to all three. Whatever. Try player of the game. Tomorrow now. Another 7-10 first pitch. Excuse me. It's going to be, of course, Hunter Brown up against... I don't watch a lot of Guardians baseball, so I don't know anything about Joey Cantillo. He's pitching for the Guardians tomorrow night. Sorry, Joey. I've not kept up with what's going on with you. It appears that he's a reliever, so I'm guessing he's either going to pitch very short. It's an opener situation. I don't know how that's working out for them, what they're doing with him. He made a start in his last one. He pitched 3 1/3, so I guess they're doing something like that. Weird stuff. Bad baseball teams do things like that. You always feel good about ending it. It was just a quick one-gamer. Losing it tonight, but Hunter Brown should get the victory tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting to see. This lines him up to be able to start the All-Star game in Atlanta. Him and Tarek Skubal, and I don't know what Skubal is on in terms of, I think Skubal pitched yesterday maybe for Detroit, so he'll probably start again. So there's a chance Hunter Brown starts the All-Star game for the American League. Gets his inning in, moves on. We'll see. All I know is you got to go win tomorrow. They should win tomorrow. They should have won today, you would have thought, coming into this one, but baseball's baseball. As soon as it ends tomorrow night, make sure you join us for the Locked On Astros Postcast as always. Thank you for stopping by tonight. We'll talk again tomorrow night after Astros and Guardians.